Ask, stop socializing, stay home, and don't plan any large holiday gatherings. State health experts have issued some of the strongest warnings yet as our state coronavirus outbreak continues to explode.
This afternoon, the health department reports more than 1,400 new cases, pushing us past 120,000 overall. 61 more people have been hospitalized and 22 more people have died from COVID-19. We have team coverage tonight, including Keith Eldridge, with a look at what happens next.
But we start with Tammy Mutasa live in the newsroom with the strong warning from those top health officials. Tammy?
Eric, all our top health officials are deeply worried we are about to have a crisis, and they say you should be worried too. Officials say we need to stop socializing and take this seriously, or we could see more restrictions.
COVID-19 is a viral wildfire, and we are the fuel.
The alarm bells are sounding from our top state and county health officials.
Let's not throw more human logs on the fire.
They don't want to be a broken record, but we're breaking COVID-19 records again.
At this point in time, we have the highest number of cases that we've ever had, and our case counts are accelerating.
State Health Officer Dr. Kathy Lofi illustrated how COVID-19 cases are skyrocketing for all ages. She says hospitalizations are going up on both sides of the mountains.
We're at the point that if we cannot change the current trajectory of disease by changing our behaviors, we'll need to take actions that will hurt our economy, and no one wants to do that again.
Washington State recently reached 1,000 new cases in a day for the first time since midsummer. Right now, the COVID-19 transmission rate in Western Washington is at 1.3. In Eastern Washington, it's 1.36. The goal is to be under 1.
We don't want this to take a toll again on the state's economy and on our people, and really need everybody pulling together to flatten the curve once again.
Especially heading into the holidays and flu season. Health officials say the safest Thanksgiving is the one celebrated with only the people you live with, and don't gather with more than 5 people outside your household.
Holding gatherings is a threat to all. Stop it. Plain and simple, just stop the gatherings.
The Pierce County health officer says at the end of the day, it's about saving lives.
Public health is the only thing standing between us and disaster.
Pandemic has turned Santa Claus right around and sent him right back to the North Pole. Today, one of Kris Kringle's most popular stops announced that he won't be showing up this year. KOMO's Kara Kostinich reports that visiting Santa will look different this holiday season.
You're a big boy. There we go.
It's a beloved Christmas tradition that began at the downtown Seattle Frederick and Nelson in the 1940s and has become so special to so many families.
Rudolph.
Nordstrom has announced COVID-19 has sidelined their Santa Lane experience at all their stores. So that means no visit or photos with Santa.
That was a bummer for us. This is a long tradition.
This year, Carrie Mitchell's boys, Ben and Beckett, would have marked their 10th year with their Nordstrom Santa.
You pick the few things that you want to carry forth from generation to generation. So yes, this was one of the things that we decided, oh my goodness, this is the tradition we're going to carry on with our kids.
But Santa isn't canceled everywhere. Arthur and Associates Photography has carried the torch on from Fredericks. This year, they'll have 7 locations at area malls.
We believe providing this is going to be a relief to a lot of people.
Although this year will look different. Santa and his visitors will need to wear a mask.
We're going to go from a vertical shot this year to a horizontal shot because of the social distancing that's required, 6 feet between Santa and subjects.
Doctors say remember to wash your hands, distance, and stay at home if you're sick.
If it is essential to take that picture with Santa, definitely keep those precautions.
Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's also offering a chance to visit with Santa. But this year, from behind a plexiglass wall to keep everyone safe. This Christmas will no doubt look different. But some of our most treasured traditions, thankfully, will still stand. In Seattle, I'm Kara Kostinich, KOMO News.
Sad state of affairs. Arthur.
Social gatherings are becoming the new taboo, and public health officials say those seemingly innocuous get-togethers are driving the COVID-19 case count into dangerous territory. But avoiding a traditional holiday gathering may be too much for some.
I think people are mostly going to ignore it.
Albert Young says his parents are high risk, and the Thanksgiving decision was easy.
You know, we were planning on going over there, but we're not now, and they aren't going to come here.
Jolene Rogers says her party will stay small and will be one of the few bright spots in a tumultuous year.
People are probably not going to give up getting together with their families.
As this graph shows, COVID-19 hospitalizations are already on the rise across Washington. UW-Medicine says it's in good shape with 50 COVID patients across 4 hospitals, down from a high of 125. But Tacoma General Hospital is approaching the number of hospitalized patients seen in the spring. Overlake Medical Center is also seeing an increase. These hospitals still have room in their COVID units, but say people need to heed the warning so we're not overwhelmed.
I think you got to use common sense.
I think we all want to do what's best for our community, but that's going to be tough.
We need to come up with a plan to solve the problem.
It's a desperate plea from neighbors and businesses across Seattle as encampments in our city parks grow, and with it, crime and violence.
There's thousands of residents all around us. They feel like they're abandoned because they don't feel safe bringing their kids here.
Ballard Commons Park, Carkeek Park, and Denny Park.
How many needles did you find?
I said 37 needles.
A few of dozens of green spaces suffering from the city's decision to allow camping in place during the pandemic.
We're following CDC guidelines, but at the same time, really recognizing the impacts that we had on communities.
Mayor Jenny Durkin points to reduced resources after a number of city employees who would have been cleaning and maintaining our parks during the spring and summer fell into vulnerable categories because of COVID-19 and had to work from home.
Our crews were significantly diminished. I went to the bargaining table and got unions accommodation on that. We know how to bring them back safely now.
The mayor taking those crews and proposing a $4.2 million community clean team that would focus on picking up public spaces and parks. Crews have already removed 3,000 pounds of garbage from Williams Place Park on Capitol Hill.
I'm not sure it will solve anything, but it's a good first step.
The move comes after more than a dozen business and neighborhood groups sent a letter to the city, calling the situation in our parks a spiraling public health and public safety crisis. Their demand, the city act.
Mayor, what is the plan to get people out of parks?
One, we have to have somewhere to move people. And that's critical.
City Council member Andrew Lewis is the chair of the Select Committee on Homeless Strategies and Investments.
The crippling center of gravity for this problem is we don't have places to navigate people to.
According to the city's homeless response team, on any given night in Seattle, there are roughly 56 beds to shelter 4,000 unhoused people in our city.
If Denny Park was cleared tomorrow, people would be back in 2 weeks.
The mayor has proposed a record $151 million for more services for the unsheltered. Many agree more housing is the only way to begin to solve the growing problems in our parks. And since we remain in the midst of a pandemic, the reality is these tents likely won't be going away anytime soon.
When can our communities get these parks back?
So I think you will see some changes, hopefully in very short term. It's a combination of, as we know, both having the ability to clean up the trash. The encampment part is going to take some continued negotiation with the city council.
In Seattle, I'm Kara Kostanich, KOMO News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.